Hi, everybody, and welcome to the United States of a Movie podcast. We're the movie podcast that makes every Monday a fun day as we get together and we talk movies. But we have a point here at the United States of a movie. We're trying to find one movie to define each state in these United States. We've already done one trip around the states. We're currently on a second. And this week, we stop off in the state of Delaware, apparently, even though I was checking up on Connecticut movies, because Delaware apparently is one of the most forgettable states to the point of there are almost no movies made about it.
Yeah, I think you even joked last time, like, the only thing people know about Delaware is the quote from Wayne's World. Like,
yep, that's pretty much the number one thing that pops into my head anytime anyone mentions Delaware. I go, hey, we're in Delaware.
Yeah.
Now, last time around, though, we did have a champion, which is one of my favorite movies from the 90s, Empire Records, a very defining movie for me, a movie that a lot of people from Delaware says, oh no, it's legit. We know these locations. So this time around, we dug deep and we found a movie that was actually kind of fun. And I can't wait for Will to talk about it. And the other one, which is...
Technically, I think Hiding Out was the winner.
Wait a minute, have I done it again?
Yeah, Hiding Out was our winner last year. We did do Empire Records.
Right.
Hiding Out had Dracula
the Dracula assassin.
Hiding Out won.
Mm-hmm. The John Cryer Annabeth Gish vehicle.
You can Empire Records. Okay, fine. Last time around, Ryan, describe the plot of Hiding Out for us real quick.
I honestly thought you'd never ask. Do you have time?
Yeah.
Hiding Out is a story about John Cryer stealing some money from mafia people who then try to kill him. So he has to escape to a small town in Delaware, assume the identity of a high school student, and then falls in love with Annabeth Gish's character, which is not problematic at all.
Not at all. Lots of comedy played up with statutory situations. And for some reason,
it's a running theme for Annabeth Gish films, that's for sure.
And the U.S. government, so
So okay, well, this time around, going up against the basically documentary that is Hiding Out, we have brought two movies to the table. One that I quite enjoyed in a way that was a flashback and throwback to some of the movies I enjoyed in the 80s, and the other one is a movie that all three of us barely made it through with our sanity. Ryan, choose one. Oh, before I do that, as always, my amazing co-host, Ryan Sandler in Arizona, and Will Hirsch sitting in the middle of his very own movie store in Los Angeles, California.
In Delaware.
Yep, hiding out in the audiovisual department of some high school in Delaware, currently Will Hirsch. Anyway, guys, yes, Ryan, pick one of the movies to introduce to our audience this week.
No.
Well, it's great seeing you all this week.
Bye, guys.
I hadn't seen either of these movies, but I do have a fondness for Goosebumps. Growing up as a kid, the books were immensely popular. I remember they had like the textured cover on them. They were all so cool and unique. And then someone decided to make a film starring Jack Black that's kind of based on the books, sort of.
Well, it's based on all of them at the same time. Which is kind of interesting. Now, I will say this one. So this is a Jack Black vehicle. It comes from 2015. It's directed by the director of a bunch of animated films before them. Shark Tale, Monsters vs. Aliens. His first go at making a movie was with Jack Black, Gulliver's Travels, which bombed. Yeah. Came back with Goosebumps in 2015 and was followed up by Detective Pikachu, which is a movie I actually very much enjoy.
That's cute.
But Goosebumps... Rob Letterman. So Goosebumps is a movie that I haven't seen either, but I remember it coming out 2015 to not much fanfare. And I remember a lot of people going, yeah, actually it's kind of fun. Like a lot of people were like, no.
It was an interesting watch. Like I was kind of pre-programmed to going into this to not like this movie for some reason. Otherwise I would have already seen it, but watching it, I did enjoy it. I do it gave me this feeling of, like you said, nostalgia for movies from like the 80s. Like I kept bringing like, oh, this is some kid's version of like Monster Squad. That said, I do wish it had more practical effects instead of just the glossy CGI nonsense that I don't give a shit about.
Interesting. I mean, I would say the cool thing. So this movie sort of stars, apart from Jack Black, you don't really recognize anybody apart from the toothy kid from Super 8, who plays for a lot of the comedy. In Super 8, the teeth are 3 times the size.
And
But
and what's her name? Amy Ryan, who plays the mother, who is like famously Michael Scott's girlfriend, but she was
Yes.
also the crazy neighbor in the Tom Cruise War of the Worlds movie. So there's that.
Yeah.
she turns up in a bunch of stuff actually. Like she's
Yeah,
wasn't she in The Wire as well in like season 2 of The Wire?
she played
Um,
Omar. Yeah.
Yes, she was.
So like yeah, this is yeah she was Emma. No this movie like yeah I thought that the special effects in this well the visual effects sorry were very good. I thought the special effects were very good. I thought the cinematography was kind of fun. I thought it being quite snippy and snappy and I was laughing like they were smattering of all these like famous people from
It
funny movies that we
it's
know.
it's like this the supporting cast. I got more enjoyment out of like the supporting cast of characters like Gillian Bell, Timothy Simons, and Ken Marino, who's criminally only in this for like 2 or 3 scenes.
Hmm.
Than I did the actual core of the cast. Like Jack Black is blacken it up, so to speak. I don't know if that's the right term,
It
but
is now.
Nope.
I
Nope.
like I enjoyed the characters playing. I didn't much care for the toothy like there's stuff I didn't like, but I can see that like I can see why this is a movie if that makes any sense. Again, comparing this to the other movie that we picked, this is so
Oh,
much more movie.
This
oh
is
my
basically
God.
Oscar winning. But yeah, no, like because yeah, like Ken Marino, like you said, we had him from your favorite movie,
Wet Hot American
Wet
Summer,
Hot
yeah.
American Summer, and yeah, like yeah, Timothy Simons turning up as one of the cops. You've
Mentioning he
got
is the blob on Laserdisc, which is
yeah,
great.
dude. There was again, there was. So this is the thing is that this movie, like, Will, I want give me your steaming hot pile of take.
That's
Right
that's the
on,
shirt.
right on his chest.
That's the shirt I need. It's fine. I mean, whatever. That was kind of this whole movie. I was just kind of like, yeah, okay. It's a little over 90 minutes. That's cool. Jack Black was kind of doing his Jack Black voice throughout the movie, and after a while, I'm like, you're just playing a normal guy. I don't know like what the voice is, but
He
I
was
mean,
kind of doing a
whatever.
quasi British accent at times.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
throwing
He
me
said he
off.
based it off Orson Welles.
it. Yeah, what
As
didn't?
opposed to R.L. Stein, the
Yeah,
author
I do.
that he's playing.
I
Okay.
appreciated when the kid mentioned Stephen King and Jack Black as R.L. Stein loses it, and he's like, Steve turns around, Steve King. That's great.
Yeah.
But like, it's what didn't work for me is I appreciate they took a swing trying to basically take all of his books and kind of fit it into one movie to a point where I'm like, did they make a sequel to this? I honestly don't
They
know.
did, but not with Jack
Like
Black.
it works better as like an anthology series. Like it worked better as a
That
90s kid
that
show.
was that was kind of my thing is like I remember the 90s show and I liked that and but that's just straight up adaptations of the books.
Yeah,
And I thought they worked. And this movie kind of is like if you're not familiar with Goosebumps books, I don't know what you get out of this movie. And if you
exactly.
are, you're kind of like, yeah, that was much cooler in
I remember
the
the
book I
puppet.
read.
Why is
Yeah,
Jack Black also voicing the puppet? Which kind of, I mean, I guess because
that
he wrote the
He wrote the
character.
character,
But
which
what
kind
is
of
the plot
yeah.
of this? Like, this kid moves from New York to Delaware,
Delaware.
Delaware.
allegedly. I think they
Yeah.
do mention Delaware once in this movie, and I was like, okay, thank God.
Oh no, the movie opens with
It,
them roasting Delaware for being Delaware. He's like, you couldn't
yeah.
have got a job in Guantanamo Bay, North Korea, Detroit, which I thought
So
was like an extra dig at Detroit on that one as well.
yeah. So
Oh,
citizens of Delaware just kind of being like, what did we do? Like we didn't set the movie here. You guys made this.
So
yeah.
look, no, that being said, you guys mentioned a point of like, if you've never read a Goosebumps book, what are you going to get out of it? Well, I've never read a Goosebumps book. I think generationally, I'm a little bit like too old, and also it like in the UK, we had our own ones. You know what I mean? We didn't have Goosebumps, which I think was a bit more American centric. So when I was
What
watching
did
the
you
movie,
have?
I mean, honestly,
Bump and
like
Gase. Did he
yeah,
get
Yeah,
old
it's
Bump
right.
and Gase books?
God.
it's a whole bunch of books where everyone's it's a lot of trauma and everyone's an orphan. Like Zen points this out. She goes, all of your childhood books and childhood movies and TV shows, it's so much actual trauma and like just people are like just dealing with some terrible stuff, and then
Right.
usually at the end people die. And I'm like, yeah, that's pretty much
I
how we
mean,
grew up.
I have to commend him for making like, these. I don't know if you would consider them like young adult novels because that really wasn't a big thing back in like the late 80s, early
It's not young
90s.
adult, it's young fun horror.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
like horror books aimed at kids, and then he did a more like a slightly more adult series called Fear Street, which wasn't as popular. But it was
Mhm.
like going to Barnes and Nobles and seeing like these hyper vibrant, cool design covers. And again, they were like textured. So if you, they were like
Mhm.
the Labubu of their time. Like, oh, you had the new R.L. Stein book. Like, you were
Right.
the cool. Oh, your parents have money. Cool. You can afford literature.
Yeah. They were like really cool like intros to horror. Like so if
Yeah.
like you were a kid who was not allowed to see scary movies, they were like, perfect books for
Yeah. And
that.
if you were too much of a pussy to read scary stories to tell in the dark with that fucked up artwork,
Yeah.
then
Now
Goosebumps
we're
wasn't for
talking.
you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, no,
So,
for me, like, I am not the target market of this film. And I went in, I guess, I was like, oh, I guess let's see what this movie's about.
Mm.
From the beginning, I was enjoying that it's it knows how to do the comedy beats, and it's not hanging around. If it is doing something, it does it, and they do it well. The cinematography, like, is
It's a
pretty
good
good.
looking movie. Yeah.
It is. It's a good looking movie, and like the visual effects were good. But like that's what I liked is that like that I agree that this movie is better because of everyone else that's in it.
mhm.
Like so you've got the lead guy who is just like I don't know. I didn't have a him. You got the neighbor who is
He
not Mila
had like
Kunis.
this. He had this. Yeah, she was Mila Kunis. He wasn't Channing Tatum. Like it
That's the
just
one.
had that.
It's not
Like
Channing
yeah,
Yes.
Tatum, and then the other guy is like John Heater's like junior clone.
right.
It's
Yeah.
like they're all just. But the thing is, the money that they're not spending on those characters is going into the Jack Black, the sort of like the supporting cast, and then the visual effects. And I think
Right.
it works for that. I think we don't need to know who these kids
But
are. They
you're
can just be
right.
anybody.
I'm still fascinated. By, like, who is this movie for? Because like
Yeah.
this is a tough one to capitalize on the nostalgia of like because now if people our age and like their 40s who fondly remember Goosebumps, I'm like, are you taking your kids to go see this to try and force that nostalgia on them if they're not familiar with the books or for to a lesser extent the Nickelodeon show? Like, it doesn't make sense to
Mhm.
me. And then just like trying to take all of it and fit it into this one thing. I was just like, who is this movie for? I mean, I said
Well,
that a lot during both of these movies, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
it made 150 million
I don't doubt it.
against a budget of 58. I mean, so I think that and that's at a time when it's coming out alongside Bridge of Spies and The Martian, Crimson Peak.
Movies
It's
made specifically for Ollie.
100% like just dad movies right there. But I think maybe that is a bit of what was there is that people were taking their kids. Well, also like I said, like if you're looking to take kids to a movie, the best movie you can take your kids to is one that you can kind of be entertained by as well.
Mhm.
Like a really good Pixar
Yeah.
movie or something like that. Because there are some movies that you just have to just endure as a parent. And I think that I think you're right that some of the like the parents that grew up reading Goosebumps and may have actually read it to their kids is like, all right, let's go and see it. And the thing is that R.L. Stein was like, they'd been the longest time trying to sort of adapt Goosebumps, and the biggest hurdle was honestly, well, which one do we do? And that
Mhm.
they found that this was quite the elegant solution is doing all of them. Just go, let's just make it like let's
Yeah.
everyone's like if you've read only one of the books or two of the books, you're all gonna have that's my monster, that's my monster. I remember that one when
Mhm.
I was a kid, and I kind of like
Yeah.
I like the little sort of like the twist on it. I do like the sort of the magicification, if you will, of the entire Goosebumps universe and making R.L. Stein, in this case, the star of his own Goosebumps. I
Yeah, but
enjoyed it. I
you
liked it.
you don't get the breadth of something like a Wreck-It Ralph that's really capitalizing on this, that's casting a wide net.
True.
Whereas
Yeah.
this is like a
It's
very
niche.
specific thing,
Yeah,
right?
you have to be into Goosebumps to be getting these references. But for
Yeah.
me, like I said, I wasn't getting the references,
Even
but I
I
was
mean,
like,
as someone who read the books, even there was a lot. I'm like, I remember the dummy, but I remember the girl that wears the fucking Halloween mask that has
That
to keep it on. Like, there's only a
yeah.
couple of like really standout Goosebumps stories that existed. So to then like the Abominable Snowman, like, okay, I guess that was a thing. Like, I just don't remember all of like the high notes that they were hitting, the giant man. Like, there's just a bunch of shit in this. I'm like, was this a Goosebumps? I don't fucking remember.
Yeah, I didn't the giant mantis was kind of lost on me, but and I don't know, I think I read like three or four of the books back in the day.
nerd.
Like, yeah. There weren't enough boobs in them, so that's why I
Yeah.
stuck with X-Men comics. But I think for me the kind of like this movie was a hit, and I kind of have a theory with movies that are like kind of nostalgia bait for people kind of in our age, which is, you know, the real measure of if the movie is a success or not is look how well the sequel does, because you get kind of a pass with the first one being like, oh, it's nostalgia bait, you know, parents remember it, take it to the kids, so that's a success. But how does the sequel do? And I don't think
Okay.
the sequel did very
Did they
well.
make
Well,
it?
hang
I
on.
didn't even know they made
I'm
a
looking it
sequel.
up. Okay, so they did make a sequel.
Mhm.
Rob Letterman was supposed to direct, but he dropped out to do Detective Pikachu. Jack Black and Odea Rush were supposed to come back, but didn't. It was made for 35 mil, and it made just under 100 million. So it didn't
Mhm.
do terribly. It
Didn't
gave
do
like
terribly, but with
not quite
kind
as
of
good as
like,
the other one. So Slappy gets
This
he
one,
gets
like, it's
back.
you know what other like movie was giving me the similar, very similar vibe to this one was Jumanji.
I had
mhm.
Jumanji down
You
as
know, which
movies that I feel like this was not referencing, but giving me a vibe was Jumanji was one, and then I was getting Small Soldiers, Gremlins, and Kids Ghostbusters.
yeah, yeah. There's a lot of like homage type stuff to this.
But
It's a very unoriginal movie. That
Right,
said, it's
yeah,
still original in the context of it being like a Goosebumps thing,
right.
I suppose.
yeah,
Barring all that, I didn't dislike this movie. It's just, it's not. I just couldn't like. It was hard for me to connect with this movie.
yeah, I was kind of, I didn't hate it either, but I was kind of like checking the clock just for like, all right, how much time do we got
I
here? You know?
the twist of the daughter being a character in one of the books, that
I
was
like
like
that.
I wasn't expecting that, but I was also like, all right. And but then
Yeah.
as it got towards the end, I'm like, oh, are they going to do the thing where this whole movie is him writing all of these things into
Oh
one? Like, are they
God.
going to pull that motherfuckery?
Yeah.
And they
You,
did.
but you know what? Maybe it's just because I'm a dad. And this is the kind of movie that I'm like, nah, this is
You
fun.
are?
Yeah, as far as I know. But like, it's the kind of thing that like that would be fun to watch with my
Yeah.
kids. I was watching this, going, all right, my kids would be entertained by this. You know, this is
Well,
like
Yeah.
fun.
well, let me give you a little bit of insight, which is the video store I rent all these from. I rented this movie, and the gal who works behind the counter there, one of them, she's like 19 or 20 or something, and so she was a child when this movie came out, and so she's like, I remember seeing this as a kid, and I'm like, what'd you think? She's like, yeah, and I'm like,
Mm.
wow, that's the most from somebody who was the demographic. Like when
Mm.
this movie came out, that was the strongest reaction I
But
got from,
that's the thing. Like you have something like
you
that, but
know.
then on the flip side, you have people that like me who basically grew up with Goosebumps as like a
Mhm.
thing. I had the same kind of milk toast response to it. I was just like, yeah, it's a fun. Let's recapitalize on this IP. Let's get a big name like Jack Black in there, and and make a fuck ton of money. But it was just a lackluster thing. But I do think like if they would have leaned more into that '80s kind of style and had way more practical effects, I think it would have just I would have resonated with a little bit more, like the CGI and stuff, which wasn't bad. It just, again, you can't beat the practicality.
Yeah, I think actually had they leaned more into kids these days being like, what's Goosebumps? And like kind of
Yeah.
discovering these stories as they're going through the
Yeah,
event. I
because the
think
kids in it are
that would
aware
have
of
gone a
that.
long
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which
that
honestly doesn't make any sense.
yeah,
You
I
know,
think that would have really fixed a lot of stuff.
so
You're R.L.
originally,
Stein, the writer of Goosebumps? You're a genius. Like,
Hmm.
R.L.
the
Stein's like giving notes behind the.
Yeah, it had that feeling a lot
well, he
throughout this
did
movie.
read the script, and in fact, he was in the movie
Yeah, he's a cameo at
Yes.
the
as
end.
Mr.
Yeah.
Black.
Hmm.
Um,
Ha.
Something else I didn't clock actually. Well, one, it was originally like when it was in development, it was originally being produced by Tim Burton. You know, this is like years before, like 15 years before. But I didn't clock the music was Danny Elfman.
And was it Danny Elfman? Yeah, it's just
Oh,
so forgettable. Like it just didn't
yeah.
stand. Did not like your typical.
It's-
I didn't notice it enough to even take a second look to see.
No, neither did I. As to be honest, I didn't at all.
Mhm.
No, but
Um,
you bring up a good point. You get like a Tim Burton or a like a Barry Sonnenfeld or even like a Sam Raimi to do a type of movie like this, and
Oh
where
my
it's a
God, a
little
Sam
more,
Raimi Goosebumps.
just more. But you said the director is famous for making these animated films. Like I love Monsters vs. Aliens is a fun one. Like you can kind of feel that energy in this live action movie.
I agree actually that when I was watching it and I was like, okay, the reason I found it to be quite snappy is the thing about animation is you really have to know what you're doing before you do it. Like, and then the level of prep that these guys have and the storyboarding that they do, that's why I think it was really tight. Like I didn't feel like I'll give you, like I said, you said you were checking the clock. I really didn't feel that in this one. I was like, oh man, it's just bouncing from bit to bit, but it knows where it's going next. It sets up little jokes or reaction moments, and I'm like, I couldn't make a movie this good.
No,
I could make a movie as good as the other movie that we're doing this week easily.
I do agree that it does go from beat to beat, but I also feel like it's trying to do far too many things in one film. Like I get the guy's got like 150 books, but you get the zombies, you get the puppet, you get the abominable snowman, you get the wolfman. It's like all of these things.
The gnomes were cool.
That was great. That was giving me like Army of Darkness kind of vibes.
Like that whole gnome scene inside the kitchen is one that I kind of enjoyed.
That was fun. But at the same time, like, yeah.
Yeah, I think honestly the movie would have been better served had you done a Twilight Zone, an anthology of like three different of the stories in the movie, like take the three most popular ones. And by Twilight Zone I mean kill the kids. Yeah.
That's where Stephen King
that's right.
Like actual danger.
Like, right. See? Now we've got a movie.
But the cartoon, the Goosebumps TV show, like that was the first time where you had, shows like that geared towards kids that didn't all have happy endings. Like some of them were pretty bleak, and you're like, oh fuck, this is it skews a bit darker than you would normally think for a kids show.
I did, like I said, some of the supporting characters were making me laugh. I like the one of the jokes I highlighted was you got the cops, you got the cop and the trainee cop. And it's like, oh, he's a bit of an audiophile. A waterphile?
Yeah,
and pulls the gun out.
I did like the two cops.
The two of them together were great. If you like them together, there's a show called, it's not them, but it's Wellington Paranormal. It's the two cops from that's like, if you weren't like, oh, I would like that, but in a whole show that follows a supernatural thing. That's
what they live in the shadows or whatever.
Well, it's the two cops from the New Zealand. It's the two New Zealand cops from What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah,
that's a whole show, but it's
like it's like comedy X-Files.
It's dumb X-Files. Yeah,
I've heard about this show actually,
but I love them. Jillian Bell's the aunt was fantastic for what little screen time that she had.
She was good in this. Yeah, a lot of good people bring in, not phoning it in for sure. I think the problem was it just felt kind of like a theme park ride that was a little too well lit, so you could see where the track was going, and you were just kind of like, all right,
But I also was thinking like, I don't know how you make this better. Like, I think what they did, the story they came up with for this, like the content, the subject matter, actually works. It's a fine story. I'm thinking like, well, maybe if this didn't have the Goosebumps baggage attached to it, but then that falls apart. It doesn't quite work. If it was just a writer.
It needed to be like just 10% scarier. Like I think that was like the problem. It's just at the end of the day, it's not scary. And Goosebumps, while it's like I never read a Goosebumps book and was like had nightmares or anything, they were a little creepy. And this movie doesn't have that.
Yeah, I mean, I see what you mean because, like I said, I described it.
It plays it safe.
As kids Ghostbusters, and the thing is, Ghostbusters was scary
and horny.
But when you watched it as a kid, I remember watching Ghostbusters 2 in theaters because I wasn't old enough to see the first one in theaters, and I remember like covering my eyes, watching Ghostbusters 2. The bit where the guy's eyes light up and he goes down the corridor. I was just like stuff like that. It's a bit spooky. This one feels. Okay, yeah, it does feel a bit Disney movie sort of like horror. You never at any point are worried about any of the characters.
Right.
Irrelevant of whether it's a mummy or a thing or like, there's danger and things are being flipped, but you never felt like any tension about the kids weren't going to make it.
The danger, like, again, paired with like this 2015 CGI where it's like the kid is fighting the Wolfman and all right, there's a semblance of danger, but they all have plot armor, so it doesn't fucking matter. I forget what episode we were doing where Will said like kids, there's just no stakes. Like there's no kids just aren't afraid of shit anymore.
I think it was one of the episodes with Carrie Byron. It was Will and Carrie were talking about that like when things used to be scary when we were younger, and now they seem to pull all those punches nowadays.
Yeah, and coincidentally, kids are not as into movies as they used to be.
So anyway, Terrifier 3.
Now we're talking kids in danger.
He does explode a bunch of kids in a shopping mall, and it's
I mean,
hilarious.
the exact opposite, I guess. Not that I'm watching it, but I know a lot of people have. It recently had its finale. But, speaking of Stephen King as Welcome to Derry, where it's been having a bunch of kids and a bunch of spooky stuff, and it's been like people die or people are going to die, and it's going to leave you thinking about things at the end of the day. That's the two sides of the spectrum. I absolutely think that there is just enough room on it for a Goosebumps as there is.
Sure.
Oh, but it's like I think what you're saying is the criticism that you guys are giving is valid, but I would still say to people that are listening is like it's fun. And if you have kids, it's a fun thing for kids to watch. I did see some fact earlier that I feel like it's going to make something in like Will's head explode. Let me see if I can find it. Oh yeah. Goosebumps is the only horror movie to ever receive an A cinema score grade from audiences. The only horror movie ever.
When have audiences ever been right?
Who labeled it a horror movie? Who is that? Come on.
This to me, it felt like a made-for-TV like Disney Halloween special.
Yeah,
like it had that kind of family-friendly, safe energy to it. I'm not saying that in a bad way.
You aren't wrong. I just had some. Our cousins were staying with us, and I hang out with the kids quite a lot. And we were watching. I was hanging out with their 13-year-old daughter, and she's like, "Oh, I want to watch this movie on Disney." And I'm like, "Oh, cool, we're going to watch a Disney movie." And it was Zombies 4. So there were 3 other ones that came before this, and it was like a musical to do with the school, and they've got zombies and werewolves and vampires and all this kind of stuff. And you know what? It actually was very entertaining. Great little music, good dancing. I had a good time, but I was caught up on the level of production value was pretty impressive considering it was a straight to Disney movie. And I get what you're saying is that this movie,
directed by Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah. But this movie does kind of fit into that realm. That being said, I still thought
it's totally fine.
That this is a movie that, like I said, if you're listening and you've got kids, like it doesn't matter if they're a little bit young, it doesn't matter if they're a little bit older. Yeah. This is one you can sit down as a family watch, and it's like, oh, okay, yeah.
Conversely, if you want something similar that's way better, just watch The Monster Squad.
I still haven't seen that, guys.
I know.
Yeah. Oh my god, what are we doing?
We have to figure out how to work that one in. Because like Mrs. talks about that one as well, and I'm like,
that's good.
Again, I feel like I missed. I don't think that one jumped.
We bring it up all the time. I haven't seen it in probably 25, 30 years, so maybe I'm remembering it with like rose-tinted glasses. But
there is a lot of hard R's and a lot of hard F's and a lot of slurs in it.
Really?
Hard R as in monsters.
Monster, please.
But that being said,
Dracula.
Yeah. That's exactly
Frankenstein.
But that being said, I still love the movie. Of course I do, because I have the 4K. Does it hold up? I don't care. It's great. But it definitely does not have any of those safe edges like for children.
That's what I remember, like that movie being legitimately scary. Like all
creature from the Black Lagoon is legit fucked up. Yeah. Like that is like, what are you doing? Why are you making him so terrifying? Yeah. But yeah,
we'll have good to figure out how to do that. Yeah. What state is that in? Probably LA.
Something like that. Yeah.
But I mean, like, the one bit of danger we do get is we do like see that kid that's like trying to tell everyone you're in danger because there's the dance going on. I also like the fact that they take out the cell towers, so now we're in kind of like an 80s movie, that people can't communicate kind of thing. Liked that. And then you get that kid that's mocking them, going, "Ooh, there's a monster outside."
Just standing off the side, like the only one up in the bleachers, like
right.
I guess that kid dies. Like,
well, no, we see him at the end of the movie. He's the guy in a neck brace sitting in the class. So
no stakes.
They even pull that punch.
Kids need to die in movies.
Right.
Come on. Kids die in Stranger Things. I mean, come on. Like, it's not like it turns
away. Who watches that?
And I'm only talking about season 1 of Stranger Things. I have not seen the new season, so.
They all die.
It's
probably.
I'm in for penny, in for pound. I'm going to finish that sucker.
It was all Barb's dream.
Yes. Oh, that would be so funny if she just like it's the Dallas thing where like she's in the shower and she just turns around and suddenly she's awake and then it just cuts. That would be the ballsiest ending.
Or she wakes up and she's holding like a snow globe and it would all. Was that Saint Elsewhere? Was it?
Yeah.
that would be so
It's all
good.
like an autistic kid's dream.
That would be amazing, or it's just actually the entire thing is a Jacob's Ladder thing of Bob like drowning in the
Sure.
pool.
Oh my God, yeah.
The
Netflix would
Duffer,
love
yeah.
that
The
because then
Duffer
they,
Brothers will never work again.
yeah.
They don't need to, but they've made as much money as is humanly possible, and they're probably fine right now. Ooh,
Yeah.
ooh, slight aside. Okay. This is something that Will and I have talked about on the podcast before. We've talked about it many times just when we were friends at Right This Minute regarding our mutual admiration for James Cameron.
Hmm.
Who?
And happened just like last week. So neither of us we haven't seen it at the time of recording, but when this episode comes out, it will have been out for a couple of weeks. So I'm going to put us on the spot here. What do we think the reception or the box office to Avatar 3 is going to be? I've seen
Even
places.
bigger.
Should I go? Like, do you need
No,
guys
no,
need me
no.
here for this?
Like Ryan, because but I'm interested because the first
I don't
movie it made a
fucking know.
bajillion dollars. Then when it came to the second one coming out, Will and I firmly sat and made us know this second movie is going to make a gajillion dollars because you never rule out James Cameron. Now the third one coming out, I even mentioned it to my daughter. She goes, "Wait, what? There's another one coming out already? Didn't one just come out?" And I go, "It was 3 years ago, but yes." Is that is this going to be? Is it going to make $1 billion or is it going to make 300 million? Is he going to make 4 and 5 or is he moving on? Because there's rumors now. Jim Cameron's like, I'm ready to go back to.
I'm going back to Terminator.
Yes,
Yeah.
actually, he has a secret Terminator script.
Terminator versus the Abyss.
Oh man,
Oh.
please sign me up. Don't threaten me with a good time. Yeah, so Will, when this episode comes out, we're going to be right or wrong. What do you think?
I think it's impossible for these movies to flop in terms of like, is it going to make $1 billion? I don't know because I kind of think like this is what the real wild card because the build it up to 2, everyone was like, everyone's forgotten about Avatar, and then $2 billion later. These movies are so internationally heavy
Yeah.
that I actually do. You know what? I'm thinking about it because the international is so strong. I think it is going to get to $1 billion. I think it will be lower performing in the US though because we suck.
I think it'll be on HBO Max, Netflix Plus, Prime, Warner Brothers, Paramount in 2 weeks time.
2 weeks. I mean, I'm going to Universal City Walk IMAX to see it on Saturday.
Are you going in Blueface?
Just going up to everyone.
I'm going to see
you.
it on the big screen for sure. I mean, like, I was trying to get Mrs. I was like, Mrs. Avatar 3 is coming out. Should we watch the first 2 and get like, in the mindset for it? And she's like, honestly, we've been distracted by Christmas, but like, I would like to do that. And I like the first Avatar movie. And like, oh, so it's Dances with Wolves in Space. And it's fucking awesome.
It's
And
Fern Gully for assholes.
Right, but the second one, I mean, what he did with water, I'm amazed. So I'm intrigued to see what he does with the third one. I'm not.
He's running out of elements.
Yeah, I'll take 4 and 5 if they turn up. But I'm kind of with Will is that I think it's going to not make as much money as the second. But I think that the appeal of Avatar to me is kind of like it's one of those movies that it's not just a movie. My buddy Drew described it as this. He goes, "No, it's like doing a 2.5 hour long Disney ride."
Mhm.
The best Disney rides that you've done, or when you go and do Indiana Jones, or you go and do like, whatever Back to the Future was back in the day, or you'd go and do these Harry Potter rides that they suck you in, you feel like you're in the world, and it just gives you this amazing experience for like 6 minutes. It's just going to be 3 hours of that. And I'm like, I'm willing to pay that money. I'm willing to pay that money. I'm going to sit in that movie theater. I'm going to take mushrooms if necessary. And I'm just going to go, wow, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. And then like, be done with it.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I kind of feel the first movie is everything about it was incredible, except the story was kind of paint by numbers, but it's fine. It's a story that works. Second one, I legitimately think is a good movie because I really do like where they took the second one. And I heard the third one just gets weird with it, and I'm like, cool, I'm on board. So I like this franchise. I think the criticism, the dismissal of like these movies are stupid. I'm like, it's kind of silly. I'm like, come on, this is the least annoying franchise because
Right.
you don't ever see like lunch. It's not like Star Wars where they're like, hey, we made a new Ship Flitto character, like plush toy that's going to be in every store. Like that doesn't happen for the Avatar movies. So
Yeah.
It's a franchise that doesn't annoy you, shows up a couple years, they put a lot of effort into it, and then you move on.
I feel like they haven't been, maybe I'm crazy. I feel like this one hasn't been marketed as much as the other
I
ones.
was gonna bring that up as well. It's like this one, like when Avatar 2 was coming, everyone was talking
when does it come out? This month?
It's out. It's out today. So when we are recording, it is the release date today, right?
Holly's recording live from the theater.
Yeah. This little green screen. Everyone's looking at me like I'm weird. Guys, shut up, all right? But no, see, this is the thing. I had the same thing, Ryan. I go, it's coming out. Like, I realized it was coming out 2 weeks ago. And I was like, I thought that was next year. Like, no one's talking about it. I haven't even seen posters to it. Like, have there been trailers for this? And it's almost like, so my thinking was, I don't think the studio was like, we don't need to market it. It's Avatar. Like, what do we need to do? Guys, it's coming out. They know it's coming out. People are going to go and see it. But I felt the same way, Ryan. There was 2 years ago, 3 years ago when it was coming out, it felt like everything was blue, everything was Avatar, everything.
They haven't had like Zoe Saldana's character on Hot Ones. Like, I don't know what's going on. Like,
dude, that's a great idea. Oh, they should.
Free idea.
Dude, Hot Ones 1, you should have done that too, James Cameron. They could have brought the cameras in. That's a fucking great idea, Ryan. Why didn't they do that? That's just stupid. Oh my god.
Pussies.
Yeah, absolute pussies. A lot of them.
But I will say, just because I watched Sisu 2, are you talking Sisu 2 to me? Sisu, I don't forget, because it's not called Sisu 2. It's Road to whatever the fuck.
Dr. Sisu 2.
But Stephen Lang plays the big bad in that movie, and he's fucking hamming it up. I love Stephen Lang as a
He's great.
Oh, he's absolutely great. Yeah, I can't, like I said, honestly, yeah, I'm going to go see it. I mean, honestly, if no one wants to go with me, I'm going to watch that shit by myself. We do have an IMAX here in Waco, but it's not a real IMAX, but it still gives you, it's got the sound.
Still big screen.
Yeah, big screen.
Now, are people still seeing these in like 3D? Like, is that still popular? Because I remember the first one came out and it like changed the game. Everyone was like, fucking 3D is the future.
Yeah. And here we are. No,
I think I saw both of them in 3D.
Yeah, I think this one is also in 3D.
Sounds exhausting though. Fuck.
But at the same time, I'm like, I mean, that's how I experienced the first two movies. So yeah, I'll watch it in 3D.
Yeah.
So
are you going to do 4DX, Will?
God, I didn't even think about that. I really just wanted to go to the IMAX screening.
Wait, is the 4DX also you wear the glasses, or is it just the chairs move?
God, I hope so. I hope they put you in the tube. I hope you're like. That's the movies.
They tie your fucking ponytail to one of those blue monsters. And you're just like,
jack me into AWA, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, you're not wrong. That's right. I want to see more Sigourney Weaver. I want to see more of all. Just bring it on. I like it. Avatar's dope. Never underestimate James Cameron.
It's one of the best Giovanni Ribisi movies.
Hey, turned up in both.
Hey,
yes, he is. That being said, the reason I kind of want to talk about James Cameron Avatar, well, one is because we had perfect time, but also two, I have
really trying to pad this episode.
nothing to say. Well, honestly, it comes from listening. I've been listening to a lot of Blank Check recently, and it's, you know what?
Sometimes enemies of the podcast.
They just talk about fun things sometimes to do with movies.
Sure.
I've been recently kind of like, because I watched, actually, fuck it, we're talking about this too, is because I watched 28 Years Later the other day.
Oh, nice.
On Netflix.
Hell yeah.
And I really regretted not seeing it in the theaters.
Mm-hmm.
And I also was really impressed by what it was, the opposite of whatever I thought the movie was going to be.
Yeah, for sure.
Like I watched 28 Years Later, then I listened to the blank check, and I actually then listened to the blank check of them doing 28 Days Later. And them in the episode theorizing, could they maybe do a 28 years later? And boom, it happens. But it's so not what I thought. It's not a retread of
no.
the zombie genre. It's
not even tied to the original Outside of the Disease at all.
Apart from the fact that the first movie happened.
Right.
You know, and then they retconned the second one because it had like a post-credit scene where they're in Paris, and it's like, no, they got fought back. But no, that movie it was emotional and in ways beautiful.
And that movie fucking hangs dong.
Yeah, it's also just like I watched the movie. I watched the movie and Zen came home and I was like, Mrs. I watched 28 Days Later and years later. It was really good. I said, there was a zombie with a confusingly large penis. And she goes, oh, I'll be the judge of that. And I go, do you want to see it? And she goes, absolutely. So he set it into the movie and then we watched it and she's like, that is confusingly like that's not real. There's no way that's real. That is what the hell is that? And so we watched the whole scene, and even she's like, okay, yeah, you're right. That is a confusingly large.
You watched it 25 more times just to make sure.
While Sade was playing. And,
yeah. I can't believe they got Willem Dafoe in this movie.
That's exactly what I said. Yeah. It's one of the funniest descriptions of anyone's penis ever is Willem Dafoe's confusingly large penis. And I'm like, well, I now have a reference for this after watching 28 years later. But what did you guys think of that movie?
I saw it in the theater. It was one of those leaving the theater. I'm like, I need to see it again to like really process it. And then it came out to Netflix and I'd started it again and I was like, yeah, I remember this. I did enjoy it though. I think some of the camera work and just stuff he was doing was so fucking cool with that like the iPhone rig for the kills.
Yeah, I was kind of resistant. Cool. I was like, oh, is this movie going to suck because it's been shot on an iPhone? No, looks great. It's so colorful as well, so vibrant in comparison to like say the first one, which is shot on a potato. Will, have you seen it?
I have not seen it.
Oh.
Yeah,
all right, I'm not going to spoil it then. Yeah,
but yeah, I'm excited. But I do want to see it. And then what's the next one? The Bone Zone.
But the Bone Temple,
Boner Temple
coming out.
The Boner Temple, yeah.
I'll probably
that's
that's
Nia DaCosta,
Nia
right?
DaCosta, yeah.
Okay, that's cool. I like her work a lot. So yeah, I haven't seen it, but no reason. I just didn't get around to seeing it.
Honestly, it's on Netflix. Bang it on. It's one that you're gonna enjoy. I think you're gonna like it, but it's like I said, you think it's gonna be this movie. And then it becomes a couple of other movies. And then where it goes when you're like, oh, here we go. You actually end up like being very emotional. Mm-hmm. Like I'm genuinely impressed with it. Alex Garland, the combination of Alex Garland and Danny Boyle is one that should continue because they do, I think, bring out an interesting part of each other.
It's a stunning. It might be one of Danny Boyle's best looking films.
Yeah.
He's ever made. Like the scenery, the way it's shot, that when he uses that fucking Rudyard Kipling soundbite, which is the boots is fucking peak cinema.
Yeah, no, so Will, I think that's a 100% recommend. Like I had a free afternoon, the house was empty, very rare, and I'm like,
I'm curious your thoughts as a British person, how you feel about the whole British guy thing.
Oh yeah, and I know we can't talk about that. But honestly, you know what's interesting is I didn't pick up on it. As in, I was like, oh, he's kind of just like the Pikeys. But then in retrospect, realizing what it is and then how they've done it and the why, because the reset is something we will talk about when Will has watched the movie.
Once we visit the Bone Temple.
Bone Zone. I'll make an effort to watch it probably this week, if we're not watching 6 Nebraska movies to catch up.
Yeah, no, I would say, watch it when it's dark, watch it on a really good TV screen, watch it loud. Yeah. But like I said, it's going to be it's not 28 Days Later. It's a different movie. And I mean that in all the positive ways as well. It does something new with what they have coming.
Yeah, Aaron. So
it's not 28 weeks later then.
Right, which I've only ever seen.
Thank God.
It's not 28 weeks later. It's not 9.5 weeks. It's not 9 months.
Not the whole 9 yards.
It's not 6 days. It's not 6 days, 7 nights.
It's not the 6 days.
40 days at night. Yeah.
It's not another 48 hours.
How many other movies with numbers can we name? So we don't have to talk about this.
Ryan is always really good at that, of being able to just like list that. When you do that, I'm like, that's very impressive. And
you know what I'm not good at?
Use the skill.
Is that Danny Boyle movie 27 years later? That's the shirt.
Yeah.
So we also did another movie that was set in Delaware.
I don't think we did. I think that's a lie.
Yeah, we're going to talk about this real quick.
I like to think that we have to talk about it because Bobby specifically watched this movie. And he's been waiting however long, 45 minutes. Like, God damn it, if they don't talk about this fucking movie, I'm going to lose it.
Bobby, I'm so sorry you had to watch this.
We should get Bobby on the show one time. Yeah. Yes, so we were looking at, like I said, Delaware has a very, very shallow selection of movies to choose from. It's not easy at all. And some of the ones that have been shot in Delaware are set in other states, including, Goosebumps was shot mostly in Atlanta. This movie, though, we do need to talk about it, especially because it is basically in the same realm as Mystic Pizza regarding how how accurate and honest it is about the actual place in which it is set. This
Yeah.
is the movie that we picked because we recognized Greta Gerwig's name. Now, Greta Gerwig, who has gone on to become an absolute gargantuan director. She's the one behind Barbie. She's like Lady Bird. She's now got Netflix's $8 billion, and she's doing the Chronicles of Narnia all over again, right? She has got it all. And in this particular case, we're like, all right, you know what? It's got relatively like okay reviews. It's a little indie movie set in Delaware. It's available for free on YouTube. What's the worst that can happen? So, what was the worst that can happen, guys?
Uh, you know, I it had all the things on paper like, oh, this sounds like an interesting indie film, and then I went against my better judgment and watched the
It
trailer because I was looking for it on YouTube. I watched the trailer. I'm just like, what is this? And then I was like, oh no, it's one of these. Granted, it's just this is not my kind of film. This movie was not like I was like, who is this made for? But yeah, it's called the spoon and the
the
dish and the
dish,
spoon,
the dish and the spoon.
which I didn't realize was like a play on that old and the dish ran
Dish
away
ran
with the
away with the
spoon,
spoon.
right? Which
Yeah.
has nothing to do with
Oh, aha. Um, God, I
Yeah,
don't.
it's Greta
Well,
Gerwig goes through a
you
breakup and
yes.
is
So
also
Greta
in
Gerwig
Delaware.
has her husband has cheated. She spirals and she spirals into not Bob Dylan, British not Bob Dylan, not Robert Dylan Thomas, as I put on like our text thread. He's just like who on actually this guy, Ollie Alexander goes
His
on to
character's
actually
name is Boy, right?
I think so. He goes on to be a pretty famous pop star in the UK. Actually, had some number ones and everything. But yes,
One of the
she
yeah.
spirals into him in a on a lighthouse on the beach in Delaware, and then nothing happens. She has a confrontation with the person that slept with her husband. Nothing happens. They go home. The movie ends.
Yeah,
I mean, you're not exaggerating when you say
yeah.
nothing happened. Like, we can't stress this enough. Nothing happens like in this movie. This is the most.
It
This is barely a movie.
it does feel like I will say like no because I had to watch the last half of this money at literal 2x speed, which was
I
arguably
thought about
hilarious.
doing that, buddy. I thought about doing that.
The scene where they go to the little dance hall and do that and then get into the fight, that at 2x speed was like a Looney Tunes bit. It was great. But yeah, it's just a lot of vignette stuff. It's filming the scenery, it's filming the intimacy of these like two characters developing a relationship. But yeah, it's just there's just nothing there. Like
It's barely, yeah. Honestly, like
I
Will said, this movie is 90 minutes long, and I didn't take many notes. I mean, the only positive thing is like the things I liked the most in the movie was any time that Greta Gerwig would call her husband,
yeah.
and she's
Hmm.
just like having these hilarious shouty
And
just
you think
screams,
she's leaving like a voicemail, but she's actually on the phone with him, which is
just
even
screaming
funnier.
at her
Yeah.
husband.
Yeah.
Um, And like the explanation of Thanksgiving being amusingly accurate from a British point of view. So you celebrate the murder of Native Americans, and it's like, no, no, we celebrate the dinner before we murder them all and give them smallpox. It's like, it's the good part before everything else that happens. Very, very funny. But outside of that, like it's like I said, it's being shot. It's the definition of an independent movie, and but we've watched things like Blue Ruin, and we've watched things
Right.
like these other movies that have like done something new on a small budget, and they've given us nuance and character and moments and acting and sort of just things and just in many ways. And I remember saying to you guys at one point, I was halfway through the movie. I think I was about 10 minutes ahead of Will, and I was like, I'm getting such improv vibes from this.
Yeah.
And then because it's written, edited, directed by the same person. I will give you your credit, Alison Bagnall. But then as we get to the end and the credits and it says additional writing by Greta Gerwig and Ollie Alexander, then I'm
Yeah.
like, I think they as actors were like, well, we need to do something.
It does feel like that too. And I will
Yeah.
say, like, all the supporting cast, like the people they're interacting with, don't feel like actors at
They
all.
are
It just
definitely
felt
not.
like,
They are people that work in that
yeah,
store, and they've gone,
right.
"Can we make a movie in your store right now?" I
Yeah.
mean, like they have
Mhm.
done that. That's exactly what they are doing
I
for a fact.
and
Yeah.
I didn't look into this movie at all because I never do. Fuck that. But like I have to imagine this was like a deeply personal story the director wanted to tell. And like this film was her outlet to do that, you know? So
I think so. I guess I'd put money that Allison is from Delaware, probably from this part of the town. There's not a lot of her on like for Wikipedia. There's not a lot. I was watching some interviews from South by Southwest when this movie was released. That's all I could sort of really find. That was on YouTube and stuff like that. She mostly is like just a writer now. She's written a few movies here and there. I mean, it's just this.
it felt like something you would like. It felt like a 90-minute somber music video with no music.
With no music. Yeah.
Yeah. It's, I mean, we're just struggling to find things to talk about because this is just, I think what was driving me the most crazy is there's a story here that I can see about a woman who is, I can understand why somebody would leave her because she's clearly not mentally well.
Yeah.
And the movie is not interested in that other than from like, oh, doesn't it suck that her husband cheated on her? And it's like, I think I get it because she's crazy. She's
Right.
like,
It doesn't
and not in that like movie way of like women be crazy sometimes. Like, no, she's doing like legit psycho things in this movie where you're like, oh no. And the movie's not interested in
She's
that.
she's having an emotional break, or she could, or depending on whatever mental illness you want to go with, she could be like having a manic episode.
Yeah.
It's like this sort of situation of like that's how this movie plays out, is that she is having a manic episode, and then she sort of grabs onto this like random character, and then sometimes just leaves him behind, sometimes looks after him, sometimes she's like almost like, I'll marry you in the moment.
I thought they were going to reveal that he didn't even exist or something.
That's what I was
interesting.
waiting for, or that the husband is dead, or something like that.
Like some kind of twist that makes the last 4 minutes like, all right. But instead, she dresses him up like a lady, and then they have that scene together, which
was weird. Then she calls the girlfriend, weird. And then like we get the documentary feel of the dance. Those people are actually people in Delaware that do like these stores. I need, colonial. I love the question. Like, I need a colonial outfit. And British or American? Oh, that's aisle 3.
So the woman that shows up that she fights, that's the woman
that's the girl that apparently slept with her husband, the yoga instructor.
Got it.
But this is kind of what I mean. Like for all the like literally the plot is, guys, this is like people at home. This is genuinely the plot. All the plot points of the movie. She goes to Delaware, meets a guy on a beach. She confronts the girlfriend. She goes home.
Mm-hmm.
The boy on the beach goes off on his own. That's like 5 story beats.
He doesn't even
done it in 15 minutes. It's a 15-minute short film.
The gift that he gives her isn't even a dish with the spoon. It's like a metal cup for her to make tea in. It's
so the ability to put sort of actual connection between the characters outside of the actors who are clearly like I said, they are in the zone and they are acting and they're doing the best with what they've got. But they're given no real, like, where am I going? They're given no real arc. That boy is left in the same place he was at the beginning of it. She's left in the same place, just goes back to her husband and goes, so we good? Yep, yeah, we're good. And so there's no stakes to that at all. That like, I think, Ryan, you nailed it when you said it's a music video for an hour and a half without any music.
With no music, yeah. It's and it's like, I think someone I think the first comment on because it is uploaded on YouTube, it's just like, it's just the most mumblecore movie you've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah, I mean, if there were no dialogue and if there was music going through it, maybe it would be more of an artistic choice. But I can appreciate that maybe in some way this was a deeply personal story that this director was trying to tell. It's not a story for me, but if that was a coping mechanism for her to get this story out there and for other people to resonate with, great. But if you do like this movie, you're a fucking pretentious asshole.
I was gonna say, sometimes you see a movie and you're like, okay, the person who would claim this to be their favorite movie are the type of person who is like, would be listening to other people talk like, oh, my favorite movie is this, and they're like, those are all popular movies. I'm gonna say this one.
Yes,
like, it has that feel to it.
Yeah,
where you're like,
it does.
Where you're like, okay, yeah,
and
this is your favorite movie because you're a contrarian.
And I watched this after you guys, so I had seen your text thread, and I was like, should I just not even watch this thing and just pretend that I did? Like, honestly, I could have. I could have just made a whole bunch of shit up and you wouldn't fucking know. But no, powered through it, watched at 2x speed, baby.
Yeah, man, look, like I said, like we did it. I wish we hadn't done it.
Yeah.
But there weren't
To
many.
quote Will, get better, Delaware.
Yeah.
Better.
Yeah.
There's really, really not a lot of movies for us to do when it comes to Delaware. And like this one, I think out of all the movies that we've done, because we've had some absolute shockers, some that are hilariously bad. This one is maybe just, like I said, just don't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially after seeing Blue Ruin, like Shotgun Stories,
Yeah,
like
movies
Mud,
that are
like movies kind of like
yes,
that. That at least it just had a little bit more urgent, a little more agency
like
to it.
Willem Dafoe
Yeah.
and his confusingly large penis, and the one where he's running that hotel in Florida, the Florida Project or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah.
These are all very like, but exactly.
Strangely enough, there is a movie called The Delaware Project, because I was like, we gotta find something else next time. This is bad.
But it's like all those movies do a lot with very little, and this movie does very little with a lot.
Oh, if you would have put like an A24 tag in the beginning of this film, people would lose their fucking minds. Like,
I don't know.
People would be buying the screenplay and posters and shirts, the spoons.
Ooh.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So the flatware set. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's just not much to say. I know I've said this for a couple movies, but the two leads, while they are individually talented, Greta Gerwig is obviously talented. Ollie Alexander, he had like a song go viral on TikTok not too long ago, so I definitely have heard that song. But I mean, they have no chemistry together whatsoever.
Well, they're not really supposed to. I mean, he is like pretty gay coded, and she is married and
extremely young coded.
Yeah,
I was how old he was in this movie, but Greta Gerwig, not that she looks old, but she looks significantly older than he does.
He looks very boyish.
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, he just anyway has that kind of.
See, he's Timothée Chalamet.
Yeah, that wasn't very.
That was good.
Oh my god,
that was very good. Congratulations on that one. The Dish and Spoon. What year was that made, Ryan? Want to take a guess?
2013.
Let me see.
I guarantee. No, I think I know what this is. I think it's 2011.
2011. So yeah, well done. So yeah, Ollie Alexander was born in 1990, so he's 21 in this movie, and he looks about 16, 17.
Yeah,
but he's got the fucking Bob Dylan hair, and he's like wafer thin. It's nuts.
Yeah, like a soft, like a wind would blow him away and break him in half, kind of thing.
I saw like on the trailer, like one of the quotes praising the movie was like, "He's got the charisma" or something about young Johnny Depp. And I was like, who is this fucking idiot who's leaving quotes like that?
Like, but I remember like now just remembering scenes like when she takes him to her cemetery plot.
Yeah.
And, like, this is where I'll be dead. And then if we're married, we'd be buried together. Like, and it's just this uncomfortable scene of her just like laying there. And they really do have like zero chemistry. And it's understandable, like, when they meet, going through all this stuff, I'm like, they just met like an hour ago.
Yeah,
what the
she's
fuck is
mentally
why?
ill. Like she's on a spiral, and he is some weird British guy who came to America with a wallet full of cash to meet some girl that he met in a park, and now he's just bumbling around Delaware, like trying not to freeze to death. Like, listen, like we don't get into any of their character. We just see these people go on about their day, dealing with whatever situation that they're in. We don't understand the why of her or the why of him in any way. You're just left asking why.
It's somebody who's like the writer of the movie is just like, wouldn't this be quirky? And that they made that into a movie. And I mean, the co-writer of this, I think she co-wrote Buffalo 66, which is that Vincent Gallo movie. So I think we partially have her to thank for Vincent Gallo, which is unfortunate. If you know anything about that guy, he's the writer director of The Brown Bunny. He has since become a super ultra right wing grifter. So there's that. This the co-writer is partially responsible for his.
And we could have picked that movie.
I've heard Buffalo 66 is all right, but
is that set in Delaware?
But I'm not going to find out.
It talks about the invention of the buffalo wing in 1866.
That's a movie I would watch.
But it's interesting, actually, if you go to Ollie Alexander's page, because like I said, so he became a singer. Like he had 2 number 1 albums in the UK, number 1 single, 5 top 10s and stuff like that. And then they go, he rose to critical acclaim for his performance as an actor. He rose to critical acclaim in 2021 for a Channel 4 drama series. So like he did this. So 10 years before he actually rose to acclaim as an actor, and like way before he became like this pop star, he did this movie.
Yeah,
So like it's weird.
It's as independent as it gets, this type of film. Like I can't recommend this one because it's just generally not for me. I'm bemoan the fact that we all had to experience it together. It's not even one you can like poke fun of. It's just kind of a sad, bleak, vignette style slice of life, I guess you could say. I don't know.
That being said, that's not what we talk about here at the podcast. We talk about finding the most.
They do go to Dogfish Head Brewery, which is famously in Delaware. So
this is the thing, because we had the movie that like Hiding Out confusingly win last time around for again just I think being hilarious and amazing. And then Goosebumps is a movie that very much talks about being in Delaware at the beginning. Doesn't look very much like Delaware. Was shot in Atlanta and other parts around the country. This movie,
it's the most Delaware.
Is the most Delaware. But honestly, the way that the movie is, and
does it love Delaware?
It seems.
Does anyone?
This is the thing: is that it's the Delaware of movies.
Yeah.
But I'm like, of all being all being said, that this, I think, unless you can give me a compelling argument,
I like
Hiding Out.
On the novelization, it just says it's the Delaware of movies, and then the title real small below it.
You definitely sell more copies. I don't know. It almost feels mean to do that to Delaware, to be like, this is your movie, when you do have such a psychopathic film as Hiding Out in the wild. Because at least that's something.
I think, it might not be a love letter, but it is arguably the most Delaware movie.
I mean,
maybe ever.
It gives you its colonial history. It gives you real people from that place. It shows you like the English influence and the American influence and everything else in between.
It's got Mark Ruffalo rifling through the trash looking for documents.
You know what? I think we got to go with it as a punishment to Delaware to get them to make more movies.
Yes. Yes.
Like, this is your movie. Yeah. Until you like get out of timeout and make something good.
It's just got Delaware has a bronze statue of the boy character from this, just like
as one dressed as the girl as well.
Yeah.
So we're doing it. We're doing it. It's thematically makes sense, especially considering the way people could perceive Delaware. And also, Will's point holds. You need to go and make a really good movie, Delaware. You got to do something, because this one was hard. So the champion now for the most Delaware movie ever made, at least until we come back around and do the final 2 movies ever made about Delaware, is The Dish and the Spoon from 2011 from Alison Bagnall, starring Ollie Alexander, Greta Gerwig. It's available for free on YouTube with 1,000 views. And it does mean that you can watch it at 2x speed, though we wouldn't really recommend it anyway. We would, though, say give Goosebumps a go. It's fun. And honestly, if you're looking for a bit of 80s ridiculousness, Hiding Out is still a movie that happened that we enjoyed.
You're not going to top a Dracula Assassin. So, like, come on.
Goosebumps is not to throw him under the bus, but Goosebumps is one of those movies that Adam will text us and be like, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
He's absolute. I'm waiting for that text.
I like it. I like it. I liked it. But
I will never watch it again.
That being said, we did discover that there are a couple of other movies that we can do.
2 dish, 2 spoon.
When we
funny every fucking time.
Damien's Gambit or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Oh man.
Return of the Boy. And then there's About a Boy, and then Boy Meets World. See, I can do it too. There was a 2007 movie that like we're actually quite interested in. It's actually on Amazon Prime. Trigger Man. Remember that one?
That's the Ty West movie.
Ty West.
And why do we know Ty West?
He directed X, Pearl, Maxine.
Right.
Yeah,
so this guy that's kind of gone on to do this other stuff. It's a low budget thriller. 3 friends set out for a day hunting in Delaware, but things take a turn when they're being hunted. Kind of gives me the Descent vibes. Kind of gives me a bit of Dog Soldiers vibes. Yeah. So I'm like, Trigger Man. All right, I'm on board. We should probably have done that.
I think it's got the aesthetic of those two. It looks like it was shot like super low tech.
It does look like it was shot on a potato as well, by the looks of it. 2007, probably the very first like digital.
Free on Dailymotion in 8 parts.
Right.
And there's also Survival of the Dead. Yeah, which
God,
will you
please,
regret?
please, another movie come out before then.
What's so bad about that one? I've
That
never even heard of it.
this is
It's another
like,
George A. Romero, right?
yeah, this
Like
is
his
like
last
George.
one.
Yeah, I don't know if it's his last one, but this is like he can't get another job directing, and he's like, "Oh, found footage zombies? Yeah, let's do it." It's uh,
Hang
it's
on,
bad.
let me try and guess the year of that movie. This will be a fun game.
Yeah, go for it.
Because you say found footage, so I'm thinking like, okay, maybe this came out post. I don't. First of all,
Very post.
no idea when he died.
George A.
He could
Romero.
still very be much alive. I don't know.
Come on, first one was
Nope.
black and white.
He is now a zombie.
I want to say, is it post 99? I want to say
Oh,
2000,
very.
2005.
2009.
Wow.
This movie is more modern than you think. So I'm actually interested. And there's another movie called Mayor Cupcake with Leah Thompson and Judd Nelson. 2011 family comedy about a cupcake mayor who's elected mayor of a small town, shot around Delaware. Well,
Did you say a cupcake mayor or
yes,
a maker?
and it says mayor. I'm wondering if it's supposed to say maker. But yeah, I think next time around, at least Trigger Man and honestly Survival of the Dead, just because I want to.
I'm sorry, I'm more interested in Cupcake Mayor. Like,
yeah,
that movie.
Is this a cupcake
the
that is a
Hallmark
mayor?
Christmas movie?
Is it the mayor
directed
of
by
a
Arnold
town
Schwarzenegger?
called Cupcake? Oh shit!
Yeah,
There's the mayor made of cupcakes. It's going to be amazing.
Mayor.
Come on.
You're the mayor of Cupcake Town. What don't you understand?
The number one super big mayor.
I can't keep making these cupcakes. Hold on, we'll just make our own screenplays now. Set it in fucking Delaware.
Well, that being said,
Yes.
if you thought that Hiding Out was a strange, peculiar winner for a state, next
So did
time
Barack
around,
Obama.
Well, we now we
Inside
gotta
joke.
post that.
Inside
Yeah.
joke, yeah.
next time around, when we can return to another state, we're actually going to be stopping off in the state of Kansas, where we're going to have to re-listen to that episode because something Will must have said at some point meant that
I remember why it
3
won. Because that one had hot, evil Superman.
Yeah.
We
You
did
can't beat it. Can't beat it.
Drunk Superman. That scene with him at the bar.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Richard Pryor, right?
Richard Pryor.
Skiing down a fucking skyscraper.
It had that lady with the rock hard implants. It was awesome.
Yep.
God, that movie rules. I'm gonna watch it again after we're done.
Superman 3 is the current champion when it comes to Kansas. So this time around, we've taken an interesting approach, actually, that we've gone Oscar winning in one hand, and then the other hand is the movie Twister.
I forgot that's what we picked.
But it's also not the movie you're thinking about. So, Will, tell us about that movie. Tell us about this, because it's something that we discovered randomly on the internet, and we decided we're going with it.
An hour ago.
Yeah. So apparently this is a movie that's free in multiple spots, including Plex. So Twister from 1989, starring comedy legend Crispin Glover.
Crispin Glover? I love it.
It's billed as like a dark family comedy, right? In the middle of a storm, like a
apparently
Twister, I guess.
so.
It's got a very silly movie poster of them on a
yeah.
couch in a Twister. I'm like, this seems like a slapstick comedy.
So
yes.
this could be a massive mistake.
Well, after the dish of the spoon, I believe it. It's from 1989. Like we were saying, according to our non-sponsor sponsor, who will one day be a sponsor, Just Watch, it is available for free on the CW Canopy. It's available for free with ads on Fandango and Plex and Prime. So you can watch this movie. It's in many places.
If you go into your bathroom and say Crispin Glover and spin around your mirror 3 times in the dark, he'll just pop up and show up
and be like, karate kick you in the face.
Yeah.
I can watch the movie.
It's me, Willard.
Yeah.
Remember that movie Willard with the rats? Yeah,
I do.
Of course I do.
Yeah. That being said, the other movie that we're going to do is a Peter Bogdanovich movie from 1973. It's a movie I remember hearing about because of who won the Oscar for Best Supporting Actress. Tatum O'Neal, who, it's the first time, I remember hearing about her when I was reading the Andre Agassi biography. Random fact, but there we go. But yeah, so Paper Moon, never heard of it, but it's got incredibly good reviews. It stars Ryan O'Neal and his daughter. They talk about it as being one of these sort of a kind of like weirdly special movie wise. Will, have you seen this one?
I have not.
Sounds like a you movie.
It does. I have not seen this one. I am excited to check it out. I think this is his Because I have kind of a thing where Ryan O'Neal is kind of like a special scumbag where I try to stay away from his movies. But this one I've legitimately heard is a Stone Cold classic. But yeah, just look up if you ever want to find out how much of a scumbag, look up Ryan O'Neal hitting on daughter. I don't think it's this daughter. But
hold that shit until after we watch the movie, Will.
Nah, it's funnier to drop it now. But that's something that everybody knows from his own admission. He put that in his own autobiography. What a guy. So, but apparently this movie's good. So,
but when the president does it, it's fine.
But yeah. So have that in your brain as you're watching Paper Moon,
and have it in your Brian as well if you have a Brian in your life. So yeah, when we do return, so we're probably going to take another little week for the new year. So everyone can kind of celebrate. But when we return in 2026, we're kicking it off with Paper Moon and Twister starring Crispin Glover. Wow! I swear, you'd think
we are so good at this.
We're so good at this particular show. For all of you that are watching, and if you haven't, subscribe. If you're listening to us right now on Spotify or Apple, give us a review or recommend us. Or don't recommend this, don't recommend The Dish and the Spoon to anybody. Again, sorry to the writer, the director.
But if you're from Delaware, so sorry.
Yeah, we apologize.
But this is your fault for not making better.
You've got to make better movies, seriously. But yes, recommend us to someone that you may know. Drop us a comment. Recommend a movie that we should be doing, or tell us what we're doing wrong, especially Will. If you like this Twister more than the other Twister, I'm going to be so furious.
Slide into Will's DMs. Let him know.
That would be awesome if I like this one. That will rule.
You're almost pre-programmed.
Yeah, he's going to love this movie. This is the greatest Twister movie I've ever seen in my life.
Hell yeah.
You can also find Will and his Twister-loving self as Entitled Millennial on TikTok and Instagram.
You can find him just twisting his nipples to this movie.
You can find me...
Crispin.
You can find me as that Englishman in Texas pretty much everywhere, or Ollie Pettigrew on Facebook. You can find Ryan as Rhino Digital, RYNO Digital. You can also find us on our Facebook page, The United States of a Movie. This was an interesting episode. I can't wait to come back in a couple of weeks to find out whether Will and I were right about Avatar 3 and to hear Will's report on 28 years later. That being said, Delaware, you're in the rearview mirror. Kansas, you're up next. From Ryan, from Will, and from me, we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching this episode of the United States of a Movie podcast.